So, good morning to everyone. Thank you for joining this series, breakfast series today. It's a real pleasure to see such a diverse and international audience connected this morning. Today, we will focus on the digitalization of the healthcare and how we can build a more connected, resilient, and future-oriented healthcare system together across Europe and Ukraine. My name is Enrica Lombardo, and I'm the project manager of Clusters4health. But before we start this very intense and rich session, because we will have many experts and insights today, I would like to give a short overview of the project, especially for those of you who are joining this initiative for the first time. So the Breakfast with Clusters4health series are organized within the framework of this Clusters4health project, an EU-funded initiative under the SMP-COSME program. This project brings together partners from all across Europe, including Italy, Romania, Spain, Norway, Poland, and of course Ukraine, with the goal of strengthening cooperation between Ukrainian and European health cluster. The Clusters4health supports, of course, the integration of Ukrainian organizations into European networks, access to innovation, investment, and training opportunities, and will contribute to rebuilding a modern, resilient, and future-proof healthcare ecosystem in Ukraine. So, welcome to this series, and this session, this 10 session aims to foster the dialogue between Europe and Ukrainian health ecosystem. Of course, try to facilitate networking and partnership and align real needs with concrete cooperation opportunities. So the idea is to keep the format open, informal, and interactive, so a space where the conversation and exchange are as important as the presentation of the expert. So please don't be shy. And if you have any question, feel free to test in the chat or raise your hands. It will be a pleasure to answer. So across the project, we have planned 10 online sessions between 2025 and 2026. The topics are selected based on the needs and priorities of Ukrainian organization and includes, of course, Ukrainian clusters, European cluster networks, companies, platform, and ecosystem stakeholder. And now, finally, let's explore the topic of today, the digitalization, of the healthcare. So our aim of today is to explore how data, technology, and connectivity are transforming healthcare system, making them smarter, more efficient, and more patient-centered, both in Europe and Ukraine. But why this topic is so important? So first of all, the digitalization enables efficiency, reducing waiting times and optimizing resource management across healthcare system because of the accessibility, the interoperability, so secure and reliable data sharing across hospital, region, and international borders, and of course, because of the innovation. So the collaboration between Europe and Ukraine healthcare is very essential because by sharing experience, technology, standards, and best practice, we can, of course, accelerate the digital transformation and build healthcare systems that are more resilient, inclusive, and prepared for the future challenge. So now I would like to introduce today's experts that will guide you through this discussion. I'm pleased to introduce you Sauro Vicini from Clusters4health. Then we will have Marco Foracchia from House Reggio Emilia. And then Timur Koritny, I don't know if the pronunciation is right. Sorry for that. And
Just
Eugene,
fine, just fine.
Okay. And Yazakov, and then Vladislav Samoilov. Again, I don't know if the pronunciation is correct.
That's fine.
And okay, thank you. So I'm pleased to start with Sauro Vicini, the cluster manager of Clusters4health, who will share insight from the regional and cluster perspective. So Sauro, the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you, Enrica. Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to to be here today online, but I hope we will have the possibility to see each other in the upcoming year. I want just to spend 5 minutes just to talk about the context and who we are. We are the cluster organization of the Emilia-Romagna region. That means that we are an association of 127 members following the quadruple helix paradigm. So it means that our members are representative of the industrial ecosystem, of the companies, big companies and small and medium enterprises, of the research or organizations, that means universities, labs and other research entity. Then we have also the representative of the healthcare system, hospitals and territorial unit. And then finally, representing the fourth strength of the quadruple helix model, we have also the patient associations inside our cluster organization. That means that they represent the user perspective, the needs of the innovative services and products that our ecosystem is producing. So we work in value chain. So we have actually we have 5 value chains that are working on medtech, pharma and TMPs, big data and artificial intelligence, materials for health and technologies for healthy, active and inclusive living. So those are the working groups that are generating the projects and the solution for our healthcare system and for let's say the healthcare market in general. So we were founded by the region Emilia-Romagna region in 2018. And next slide, please. We are quite connected with the European ecosystem. So we are part of CIBER and MedicNest, 2 organizations that are representing over 50 European clusters on life science and medtech. And we also collaborate with other European initiatives like the Vanguard Initiative and the community of practice in several fields such as personalized medicine, medical technologies, and wireless ICT. Next slide, please. So just a few words about our healthcare system. So we are focused on 8 territorial units spread among our region. Maybe you know some of our cities like Bologna, Modena, Parma, Piacenza, Rimini. So those are the main cities of Ferrara and Forlì, Cesena. Those are the main cities of our regions. Our region is the most advanced region in Italy in terms of efficiency of our healthcare system, and also, as you will see in the next presentation, in the digitalisation of our healthcare system. So we are mainly a public managed healthcare system. So 80% of the hospitals bed that we have in our region are managed by public hospitals, and then we have also some excellences in research and health care. So I would like just mention the Rizzoli Orthopedic Institute, that is the second orthopedic institute in Europe according to the Newsweek ranking. And my last slide is about the plan that we have in terms of the digitalization. We had a huge investment in this big data technopole called DAMA, over 2 billion of investment, both from European Union and from our region, in having this supercomputer, this Leonardo supercomputing, and the whole facility of the big data technopole that is considered one of the most powerful supercomputer of the world. So we would like to exploit those potential also in the life science, enhancing the discovery of new therapeutic treatment, but also in improving our healthcare system. So in the next presentation, I'm very happy that we will follow me the Dr. Foracchia from the AUSL of Reggio Emilia, that is very active in the digitalization of our region, and he will give you an overview of what we are doing in our digitalization history that cover mostly 30 years of digitalization. So thank you everybody to be here, and Erika, I give you back the floor.
Okay, thank you, Saro. Any question for Saro? Okay, hope that everything is clear. Now I would like to introduce the second expert of today, so Marco Foracchia, an expert in healthcare digitalization, who will provide a more technical and systemic, let's say, perspective. So Marco, the floor is yours. If you want to share the screen, I can stop the presentation.
Okay, thank you, Enrica. And thank you everybody for inviting me. It's really a pleasure to share our experience from the Emilia-Romagna region, and especially from my little local health authority. Just a quick second that I will share. Okay, you should be seeing my slides now. Okay, perfect. Can you see my slides?
Okay.
Yep, perfect.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I will briefly go through the Emilia-Romagna strategy towards a digital health ecosystem. It's a presentation, but of course the kind of event suggests that we can actually interact. So feel free to ask any questions during the presentation or later. What I will tell you is basically summarize in a very quick way an experience that is more than 30 years in time span. So it will be very quick, but of course there are many more details which will not be covered. First of all, who am I? It's always nice to know who you're talking with. I'm the Chief Information Officer of a local health authority of Reggio Emilia. Okay, I'm a biomedical engineer by training. I also gradually switched to economics and healthcare management. Even though I have a history of private sector researcher in medical devices and software before joining the public health system, I'm also actually here there's a mistake, I'm the president of the Italian Association of Information Systems in Healthcare. I'm also part of the HIMSS Italian community and Class Research Advisory Board. So I have also an international perspective on what's going on in the digital health ecosystem overall. Saro already introduced what is Emilia-Romagna. Emilia-Romagna is a region up north. You might have traveled through it. Hopefully you have also stopped and visited some of our cities. It's a 4.5 million roughly citizens, 99 hospitals, public and private, even though, as Saro was saying, it's mostly a public health run region. And this is a key aspect for the projects I will tell you about, because they are mostly run by the public health organizations and public health regional government, and which greatly helped the overall picture. It's divided into eight local health authorities. I'm the CAO of one of these 8 local health authorities. We have 4 university hospitals and roughly altogether 61,000 professionals working in our healthcare organization. Where do I come from? I come from Reggio Emilia, which is a small town roughly halfway between Bologna, which is the most famous, is the capital of the region, and Milan, just to give you an idea. If you're traveling, you probably came through Reggio Emilia, didn't stop. Try to take the opportunity to stop next time. And it's the local health authority is a network of 6 hospitals, roughly 1,500 beds. It's a medium to large size organization, and it's a research institute in oncology since 2011. We're also an OAC accredited comprehensive cancer center. And so we have this strange organization having a research institute in the middle and all the public health infrastructure in the province. This comes from actually the merger of 2 different organizations. We used to be a research institute, independent, and the public health local health authority. We merged in 2000 17 becoming one organization. So this is why the nature of the organization is kind of strange altogether. The reason why I'm usually invited into this kind of events is the fact that our local health authority has traditionally invested a lot in digital healthcare, and we have currently reached MRAM 7 stage, which I don't know how many of you are familiar, but MRAM is a maturity model developed by HIMSS, an international nonprofit organization that has been used in Italy also as funding from the Recovery and Resilience Program, the recent funding from the European Union. And it is a measurement of the maturity, digital maturity of healthcare organizations. So we have currently reached the MRAM 7, which is the highest possible level. So it is not something that I did personally. It's a long tradition. In our region, we also have 7 other hospitals which are MRAM 6 level, which is extremely high also, and several other hospitals in middle levels. We've been basically fully electronic and fully digital since 2013, so it's been a while. And we've actually been the first Italian healthcare infrastructure going completely paperless and filmless in radiology in 2003. So we have a long tradition on this. What are we working on? The main focus right now in the Emilia-Romagna region is not anymore on the hospital digitalization. We're still working on it. There's a lot to do.
Алло.
Excuse me? Okay.
Да, кажіть.
Okay, we're currently mostly working on outside of hospital, what we call territorial or transitional care, home care, chronic care pathways. So the biggest focus right now on digitalization is mostly related to all information processing outside of hospitals. The reason behind this is that the Recovery and Resilience Program, the PNRR, funded by the European Union, greatly emphasized the fact that digitalization has to progress beyond hospital healthcare and move towards the external ecosystem. And this has been actually, it was somehow of a lucky coincidence. It's been a long tradition of the Emilia-Romagna region. The Emilia-Romagna region, roughly in 2005, established what used to be the first network of digital infrastructures beyond the single organization in Italy, and one of the first ones in Europe, actually. The Sole Sanità Online project actually had the main goal, which was to build an electronic health record, or actually a federated network, we would call it with the technical terms, of digital infrastructures that connected all public, which are most of the organizations, but also private healthcare organizations within the region. And just to give you an idea, these are statistics from 2021. They're not really updated, but they give you an idea. We have 91.6% of healthcare information from our region, which is shared among all healthcare organizations. So this gives you an idea of the fact that we have invested a lot on not only digitizing the single healthcare institutions, but we've also invested a lot on sharing this information. And sharing this information means going beyond the hospital, following care pathways that travel all around the region, and also, as you will see, an evolution which goes beyond that and goes at a national level. This project, the initial Sole Sanità Online network, developed in what has been the Fascicolo Sanitario Elettronico, which is the regional electronic health record of the Emilia-Romagna region. It was the first one developed in Italy. It's based on HL7 CDA2 formats and allows first of all, the patient to actually see the full information of their healthcare journey within the region, and at the same time exchange information between healthcare organizations. So it was really a major project. And consider the fact that we have 92, now it's gone up to 97% of healthcare information exchange to this network and this electronic record. So it's really an effective project. This project was something that was built upon by the national government, and we are now in the process of actually developing, not as a region, but at a national level, the so-called version 2 of the Fascicolo Sanitario Elettronico, which is basically an evolution of what used to be regional in Emilia-Romagna and is now being adopted at the national level. Many other regions had developed later their own electronic health record independently, because in Italy the healthcare organization is mostly divided into regional subsystems. Nevertheless, this is a national program, national project, and it is in its late development phase. It's actually online and running in most of the country. The main objectives of the Fascicolo Sanitario Elettronico, I won't go into the details, so you get these slides probably, so you will see the long journey. It has been a long journey in terms of legislation, in terms of regulations, starting in 2012, basically. The reason it has been so long, because from a data protection point of view, this project is gigantic. It had to be actually reviewed and reprocessed and rethought several times. And Italians tend to be very complicated in the way they regulate things. Nevertheless, we made it through. And we have now a national regulation. The latest part is from 2022, so fairly recent, which basically institute a national electronic health record, which is now in the process of actually being basically filled with contents from all the different regions. Of course, our contents, the 92% I showed you before, which now has been extended to 97%, is the main core of the national project, but all other regions are also merging, and we are starting to actually see information from our patients gathering from Sicily up to Trentino, Friuli Venezia Giulia. It's really a project that is showing its actual practical healthcare related goals. And the transition from the original Emilia-Romagna project to the national one is actually has many different evolutions in it. The first major evolution is that we go from a regional to a national perspective. That's a big one. And we also started with unsigned documents. It means simple PDFs. So with CDA2, so it's structured documents, we moved to digitally signed documents. We are very complicated in terms of regulation, but having digitally signed documents allows for the documents to not be published in paper anymore. So this really allows for a paperless transmission of documents also to the patients. Okay, so this has been a major improvement in the overall architecture. We started in the Emilia-Romagna project with a minimum content set. Okay, we have 92% of the documents, but of course they are focused on some aspects, some types of documents which were most relevant. And the national project has extended significantly the content set, going up to the entire electronic medical record. In our healthcare organization, for example, ships almost 98% of our electronic medical records to the national level, so that the patient can see the full electronic medical record, and other organizations can also see the full electronic medical record of past episodes, past contacts with our patient. In the beginning, the Fascicolo Sanitario Elettronico had minimal structuring of information. We have now moved to a very structured and coded type of documents within the new national Fascicolo Sanitario Elettronico, which greatly helps, and this is a hint of what's coming, further processing, both in terms of traditional processing, but also AI-based and advanced techniques-based processing. So the key aspects, of course, of the new Fascicolo Sanitario is national scale, extensive documentation up to full medical records, structured documentation, codified in, for example, we have an extensive use of SNOMED and LOINC, and also, of course, ICD 9 and 10. And we have digitally signed documents. So these are the major evolutions. You might see behind the scenes what's the next step. The Elettronico at the national level was built having in mind the fact that there was a major project coming up from the European level, which is the European Health Data Space. The Fascicolo Sanitario Elettronico at the national level is the entry point for the actual implementation of the European Health Data Space. Everything starting from codings in types of HL7 standards adopted, and everything is mostly tilted towards the end goal, which will be the European Health Data Space. I won't go into the details about the European Health Data Space. You probably have already heard about it. The key aspect of the European health data space is the fact that there is a secondary use of data in the mind of the people who actually devised it and the people that are actually working on it. So we go beyond taking care of our patients, which is our main goal. We go beyond and also envisioning the fact that we will use that data for secondary use for research in many different aspects, starting from very traditional research up to governance level research, which is something that really will impact the overall digital ecosystem. So from this point of view, we see these two projects as a side-by-side tools that are based on a common also data governance and data protection framework. They are both in an opt-out logic. They're built on an opt-out logic, so they are compatible also with national and European regulations with respect to data usage. As I was telling you, the main goal of the fascicolo sanitario elettronico was still the primary use. And when we started it in Emilia-Romagna, the main goal was to take better care of our patients. We knew that it was potentially something that could be used for secondary use, but it was not that common to actually think about this further development. Now that we are looking at the European health data space, we have very strong in mind the fact that there is secondary use, a secondary use goal, both at the national level, fascicolo sanitario elettronico, and of course at the European level. So from this point of view, we are greatly working with this process of concentrating healthcare data from the single organization to the national level, and from the national level, we will have it shipped to the European level, having in mind that there is a great potential for secondary use, both at the national and the European level. Just to give you some numbers, we know this, and we know that this switch from primary use to secondary use is something that is physiological, and it's actually very meaningful, but we can also see it in our everyday activity. This is just to give you an idea. In our organizations, we have roughly more than 30 million accesses to electronic medical records history for our patients. And we also have roughly 300,000 access to the fascicolo sanitario elettronico history of our patients outside of the organization. This is the primary use we do with the fascicolo sanitario elettronico. So the primary use is there, of course, in 300,000 patients. We actually did explore their history beyond our organization. This is excellent, especially for chronic care. Nevertheless, you see the big difference in scale. Most of our patients still are very local, even in very sophisticated organizations like Oncology Institute, etc. Nevertheless, we know that building a fascicolo sanitario elettronico is very valuable, not only in terms of primary use, taking care of our patients at a single level, but especially in the fact that we are building something for the future. This journey, as I always narrate it and tell it to our clinicians, starting a long time ago, we started harvesting information. We looked at our patients and our clinicians and started plugging in, taking data out of these processes just for the sake of curing, taking care of our patients. We started developing data design, data quality in time, and gradually starting building what are now called clinical decision support systems. This is the level at which we focus at a single organization. Okay, single hospitals focus on this. In the biggest picture, most of the time they also work with business intelligence tools, etc. We're now switching at a higher level when we move at the regional level. Building the fascicolo sanitario elettronico means, first of all, giving back to our patients the availability of their data. The main goal of the fascicolo sanitario elettronico, as you see, is that we gather the data, we collect the data that is at a single organizational level, and we ship it back to our patient. The patient can do whatever they want, and it's not only PDFs, it's actual structured data. But the big thing is that this structured data is made available to other organizations. It has become very common for our organization to see the history, the clinical history of patients coming from other areas of the region and now from other areas of Italy. Sounds simple, sounds obvious, has taken a long time, and when you see it in practice, it becomes really impressive. And of course, the main goal behind this, what we're starting to see, and actually there are regional groups working on it at right now, is giving more value to this overall framework, putting in artificial intelligence. This is just an example because, of course, it ranges from very simple to most very complex projects at many different levels. Of course, we have artificial intelligence coming into the single organizational level that happens everywhere in the world. We have it at the business intelligence level for our boards, our CEOs managing the organizations. But at the same time, we have the opportunity to have this artificial intelligence and processing frameworks also matching with what Sauro was saying. We have the technological capabilities within the region to have high processing power facilities within the region. We are working to apply and already exploring both POCs and the initial actual projects at the overall regional level. So we are working on actually leveraging more value from all the data that we've gathered for the fasciculo sanitario elettronico, so for primary use, but we are now exploring the secondary use. And this is the main level of actually work that we're working right now. And so in terms of a stepwise approach, what have we done in Emilia-Romagna? We've worked a lot on the departmental level in the sense that in the early 2000s and even before in some cases, we started working digitizing the single departments of the single organization. From this, we've built a regional MPI, Master Patient Index, which was the basis for actually building our overall regional strategy. We built clinical data repositories that actually gather information at the single organizational level. And we have built at the hospital level the EMRs and stage 7 of MRAM, stage 6, 5, and 4 that are the most common stages in the Emilia-Romagna region are mostly showing the fact that we have reached a level where we have EMRs, active EMRs on most, if not all, organizations. So in this big cake, what we're currently working on is putting the little cherry on the top of the cake, which are clinical decision support systems. And if we want to make it a little more fancier, we can put some extra candies on the cake, both at the departmental level and on top of the cake, which is artificial intelligence. And this is ongoing. We have several active projects that work mostly at the single level of the cake of the organization. So at the single hospital level, single local health authority, processing data using AI. But the real big step that we're currently working on, and of course we're looking for European and higher level international partnerships, is putting some extra taste to the overall cake with the fasciculo sanitario elettronico. That's the final goal. And that is possible because we have worked for the last 20 years, basically gathering data in a very structured way, in a very governed way, in a very also regulated way in terms of also privacy and data protection. And if we go back to international metrics, MRAM is actually working on this. MRAM is basically putting these final stages of development in stages 6 and 7, which are the stages of development of healthcare organizations that we're currently in and we're currently working on. So these are all the different steps, and this was what we've been working on for the last few years. So just to give a broad overview, we have focused a lot on this major gigantic project. We also have other projects, but didn't have time to actually focus on them. But the main project, the fasciculo sanitario elettronico, the electronic health record, has been a great opportunity to actually harmonize distributed clinical pathways. That was the main goal in the beginning. Okay, it has worked. It's impressive how it works. And it has been a great opportunity for everyday clinical practice. And fasciculo sanitario elettronico is mainly focused on healthcare professionals because it started in years where healthcare professionals needed the digital support, and that's where it focused. But now that we are progressing, we realized that it wasn't really in the beginning one of the main goals, but we have realized in the meantime that fasciculo sanitario elettronico is a great gold mine for secondary use, and especially now that the European perspective goes to the the European health data space. So basically, the next frontier for us is that we are still working on primary use, but secondary use is there. We can see it, and We are ready because we've been lucky enough to have worked on concentrating clinical data for the last 20 years. So we are a little bit ahead of many organizations because we already have the data there, which is available both for research and secondary use targeted towards large-scale clinical and large-scale clinical governance projects. Okay, thank you. And of course, as I always say, come and visit us because the best way to see a digital infrastructure is to actually see our clinicians play with it. Thank you.
Thank you, Marco, for all these inspiring and funny slides. And I think it's very interesting also for everyone to draw inspiration from our regional digitalization journey. If there are any question again, Marco is available. And since is very an expert, I encourage you to take an advantage of that and of this opportunity. So if you have any question, please raise your hands. And if not, I can give the floor to the other speaker, the other experts, which is Vladislav Somoilov, the head of project officer at CE Electronic Health. So, Vladislav, the floor is yours.
Thanks a lot. I will share my presentation by myself, and today I will share my speech in Ukrainian, and I know that translation is working, so we can be on the same page. Just a second.
І так, сьогодні я дуже рад. Okay, I'm very happy to be here and to show our experience in digitalization in Ukraine. I'm the representative of state enterprise. More than 7 years, we try to make the digital ecosystem, and we have a lot of parts of this system. For one of the most important, it's our two-component system. I would like to share some details about this system has two levels. First of all, it is a central base, and then we have some interfaces which exactly works with in particular enterprises, hospitals, and so on. As for the system, it's a big IT product which we have during some years. So on this slide you can see that it's not the full list, but of course it's a key point. From 2020, we made electronic medical card for patients. From the very beginning, since the patient's date of birth. Then we also have all electronic sick leaves, and in 21st years we have patient treatment plan. In 2022, we have e-prescription for antibiotics, and also electronic referrals to the hospitals. Also, we have vaccination data about vaccination. All the prescription. 24th, 25th, we realized e-prescription of cannabis and launch the very important project, patient's cabinet. So main indicators of our system is really heavily loaded. We have 37 medical information system, 27,000 medical facilities, 35 million patients in the system. The main size of this system is 600 terabyte of data. If we compare with this one, we can 120,000 full HD movies. So that is one of the most heavy loaded system in the Ukraine. So digital projects I would like to share with our plans for the system. So we've got such type of cases and project cases. Electronic system. I will just pick up some because there are much more, a lot of amount. It's electronic system of access and daily functions, electronic queue for endoscopy, electronic system of rating distribution or internship. I would like to know, to share that all the project are on one system, on one platform, it is DIA engine platform. There are some projects which we have exactly in notification system, cosmetics notification system. Also, it's the system of medical practice and so on. I also want to share the experience from the patient's cabinet. Patient's cabinet, which is the main first stage of the realization. It's access to the declaration, or also you can look through your declaration, and also you can also change the doctor with the help of this. Also, you can share your data, and the patient has a lot of advantages as for personal data. Or second is project is the rehabilitation project, which makes it integrate the project into international system, and next one is medical equipment which was in use, and this tool is this tool helps to check their to check how this system works and what was used. Next project is biomaterial sample. Next one, registration of biomaterial samples. This information record quite important for the patients and for the digitalization of particular process. Also, we have verification of information. It's really important for true information and update information in central database, and it also reduces the number of errors. Some examples of the project which we would like to realize and to set up medical reports of adoption, medical military, medication commission. It is also important. Registration of foreigners and verification of information between Ministry of Finance. Also, it's sick leaves issue and validation. And what's going on next? It is more and more. Thank you very much for your attention. Contact us, and we would like to share information and exchange our experience.
Okay, thank you, Vladislav. Thank you for your presentation. Any question for him? Okay, I think that I will give the floor to the other expert that we have today. I don't know if it's present, Eugene Yesakov. Yes. Okay. So do you want to share?
Yeah, I will share.
Yes. Please, the floor is yours.
Can you see my screen?
It's working.
Okay, perfect. So I will talk about technical readiness of the National Ukrainian Health System for the European Health Data Space. So I represent Eden Lab. Eden Lab is a custom software development company. We are the main developers of the National Ukrainian Health System, but also we work in other contexts on a national level, like in Middle East, for example. And we also develop a custom solution called Cogent Interoperability Suite. It is a fire server and other tooling around fire and interoperability. So we consider ourselves as experts in interoperability and fire. So the National Ukrainian Health System, as Vladislav said, it's two-layered. So there is a central component, and there are private EHR systems, or in Ukraine we call them MISES, medical information systems. It can be pharmacy information system, laboratory information system, hospital information system, etc., and they are connected to the central component. So the central component acts as it stores the patient, so it acts as MPI, Master Patient Index. It acts as centralized clinical data repository, etc., So this is the overall design, and all the project that was mentioned in the previous presentation, they follow the same structure. So there is a central component and the information systems connecting to them, to the central component. It is kind of the idea behind this was the public-private partnership, where the medical information system provide the interfaces and they compete between each other for the users. And there is a central component that acts as main interoperability hub. It stores all the data, and all the data exchange happens through that central component. From the technical perspective, it is designed as simplified HL7 fire. Data model is simplified because it doesn't really use the profile, but the fire profiles, but it uses the fire resources. So you can see here it's called encounter data package. It consists of it is a document. So it's also not very it is reverse fire, because in fire document comes after data. In our case, data comes after document. So first it is document. It is digitally signed. It was a hard requirement in the National Ukrainian Health System to be paperless. So it is digitally signed with the clinician's digital signature, and it contains of logical groups the data on the encounter, on the observations, conditions, allergies and intolerances, immunizations, etc., etc. And it is from the semantic interoperability, it uses standard codes like ICD-10, ICPC2, etc., etc. So it is FHIR, and it is again simplified FHIR. It conforms to the semantic interoperability, not only the technical one. Regarding the EHDS itself, so EHDS, there are numerous European projects, and the EHDS in the regulation, it mentioned the electronic health record exchange format. This is the exchange format that should be used for the cross-border exchange between member states. So it's actually the data standard, but it doesn't, in the regulation itself, it doesn't specify the format or the standard. So it's like it's layered. So it's a legislative one, and then on top of it there is a XT-EHR project. So XT-EHR project is again, it is more technical. So it defines a data model for the cross-border exchange in European health data space, but it does it in the standard agnostic way. So it's not though it's defined with FHIR, it's not FHIR. So on the next layer there is FHIR. So this is the general concept. So in at the very end of this layered approach, there will be HL7 FHIR exchanging the data. So in XT-EHR defines several use cases or logical information models like e-prescription and e-dispensation. So this is also what is implemented in the National Ukrainian Health System. I think it was the third project of the National Ukrainian Health System. It is a patient summary, and I will be focusing on the practical implementation of the patient summary. It is medical images and reports, laboratory results and reports, and discharge reports. So basically, those are the building blocks or the exchange blocks for the first use cases of the Ukrainian health data space for the primary use of data. The patient summary. This is let's take the particular example of this. The patient summary. The patient summary, it is ISO standard. It was defined as a joint collaboration between different organizations, and it is a document that defines it states like this. It is meaningless and non-exhaustive patient summary information. So the patient summary should contain different sections. So if you see here, there are like problems, allergies and intolerance, and medications. Then there are optional things like care plans or patient story or vital signs. So this is different blocks of information, and it has different implementation, including the implementation is CDA and FHIR. So what EU does, it takes the international patient summary specification, the FHIR one, and the FHIR implementation of the international patient summary, and it actually customizes it. So as you can see here, like the for the majority of the sections, so you can see on the left here the sections like alerts, advanced directives, allergies and intolerance, functional status, etc., etc. So they fully follow the International Patient Summary IPS format, this ISO standard. Some of the sections are like history of past problems. It is not represented. It is optional in the IPS. So in the EU they decided that they don't need this section. So the implementation of the patient summary in the of the like this particular aspect of the EHDS, this particular functionality of the EHDS will focus on the following. So there will be collected of the resources in the central clinical data repository. Like for example, by the condition, if we're talking about diagnosis condition, it will be the condition codes, the allergies and intolerances, we're interested in all of them. Same for the immunization, so it will be easily done. Then it will be transformed from simplified FAR to full-fledged FAR and assembled in the bundle document and share it. So the main summary that I want to highlight here is that it will be much simpler comparing to the decentralized federated data access when the data is distributed between different nodes. Like for example, they are stored in the hospitals, and there is a central, and from the central data repository, or there is no central data repository at all, and you have to get the data directly, like it is done in the Netherlands, for example. Then when they don't have the central data repositories, they have something like master patient index on the central level, and then the system goes directly to the nodes to get the data. So there are a lot of problems with that. How do you get the data? How do you assemble that? How do you deduplicate that? Because you might already get some data from another hospital, and if you will share it, and this hospital will share it to the central joining solution, it will be a lot of deduplication. So the decisions which were made in 2017, I think, when the National Ukrainian Health started, that it will be two-level and it will be central component and it will be FHIR based. I think they very much simplify our way towards EHDS. It makes it much simpler, and not only for not only primary goal was to make the national health interoperable and store it in the national health system in the central clinical data repository, so it can exchange. And also for the secondary use of data, obviously we have this NHS dashboards where you can see all the BI data on the e-prescription, for example. But it also was a great decision towards future EHDS. This concludes my presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Eugene. Thank you for your presentation. We are a little bit late, so I give the floor to the last, not least, Zimur from Zviropolis. I don't know if you have your presentation. I don't see you.
I will do myself. No worries. No worries.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. Do you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. It's my pleasure to close this chat and this very important presentation. And I would like to propose you to step back, step aside a bit from national heavy loaded systems to problems on the level of the clinics. I would like to share our experience based on our network and the product we did. First of all, let me introduce myself. I'm Timur Karytny. I have more than 30 years experience in IT. I was working in different industries like digital director, including almost 8 years in Sanofi as a country digital head and regional heads for Eurasia, Middle East. And I was working in other industries across Europe and other countries. I also possess MBA in AI. And I have another side of me, which is academic director for different entrepreneurship programs in Kyiv School of Economics. So yes, and importantly, I was a digital head of Ukraine National Defense Industries for almost 4 years, just before the war and at the start of full-scale war. So today I would like to focus you a bit on the problems of a traditional clinic, because our experience and our vision is about to focus and to extrapolate, to send our experience to run a clinic as running a traditional business in other areas. That's why as a clinic, we should be financially great, I would say successful. We should definitely take care about our patients, bring all the best of them. But roughly, as a clinic, same as any other company, everybody is facing same digital challenges in the fast-changing world. So, few words about this, and we speak about Zeropolis, which is a veterinary chain, in fact, medicine, but in a bit different direction. So we have already 6 clinics opened in Kyiv, and we have 3 clinics opened in Warsaw in Poland, starting from 2023. And I believe 4th clinic will be soon in operations. So definitely we provide all the services, full range of services and analysis and operations and many more. And what back to 2021, we decided to look differently and to apply our deep digital expertise to run a veterinary chain, I would say. And we decided to switch from the typical veterinary software, which is, I would say, a problem for most of companies that use it and for most of individual practitioners, to create a solution to run a digital veterinary clinic from a bit different angle. So normally every company, when they try to select the software, they try to select the software that has the biggest footprint in the operations which fits the most what they're supposed to do. So normally most of software is rather ERP and less CRM, or more CRM and less e-commerce, or it's definitely MIS, which doesn't have a lot of capabilities of CRM or other stuff. So what we did differently, we start to think about running a clinic from the angle of managing the owners of pets, so our customers. So to speak and to work from the angle of CRM, customer relationship management, and also to have to use as much as we can from BPM capabilities, business process management, of one of the world leading software called Creatio. So that's why we decided to start from the side of CRM and BPM to run a medical clinic for pets. So idea is that coming from that angle, we need to create capabilities related to medicine for veterinary practice, to introduce pets, to introduce breeds, to introduce types, diagnosis, symptoms, interconnection between symptoms and syndromes, surveys, analysis, and many other stuff. So full capabilities of admissions, calendars, and many more. And that's why we had to add some other capabilities related to promotion, to campaigns, to sending SMS to our customers, to create a web cabinet for owners. But the main idea behind, and this is a crucial point, and I believe deeply, that it's a problem for most of clinics, that they don't own the data inside. Definitely the owner is the patient, but technologically, most of systems, because they are coming from MIS side, for example, they don't let you manage the data, extract, process, group, analyze. And this is a serious problem to apply, for example, AI or BI, for example, as we use a lot. Another thing is about introducing AI. It's because nobody's speaking a lot about this. It's about infrastructure project behind, because definitely to use AI, it's an infrastructure heavy cloud migration for the company. And most of companies are not able to run it because of financial constraints or lack of IT or digital skills. That's why with our solution, we introduce more. And the idea is really to own your data, manage your infrastructure, manage your profits, master your reports, apply AI skills, because the better data you have, the better prediction and data-driven decisions you would love to, you will receive in time. So we decided to take a Creatio CRM BPM platform, which is well known as unicorn partners worldwide. And I believe that our solution is really disruptive, especially for Polish market, which is really great and mature, but specifically even biggest veterinary chains, they don't use such kind of software to operate the business. That's why we consider that what we are going to do will change a lot of things and will also let us enter other markets in Europe. So, and the difference is that you really can manage the software, you build your own processes, you build your reports, you apply AI, BI, and you can manage whatever you want, like low code, no code, without asking an integrator about different and deep participation. So roughly, I already listed a few things. So we have an integrated patient health records. We definitely look closely what are the parameters of running a veterinary practice for the group of companies, for the veterinary chain. And we combine already the best practices from Ukrainian veterinary market and the Polish veterinary market to finalize the Polish project, and it will be live soon. And the idea is that with this custom-built system and customizable system, we are able to manage our operations inside one software without leaving to other softwares. For example, without using ERP, because we have everything inside. We have stock balances, we have client information, we have history, we have call center, we have recorded calls, we have resource management, we have margin management, we have many other stuff, including connectivity with external systems. And we also enrich very rich already system of marketing capabilities of Creatio with additional campaigns and promotion, bonuses of doctors, many more. So to save the time, you will receive the presentation if you like to read through, and you can talk to me later. But roughly, we put everything we know for the moment about best veterinary practices and our digital expertise to build a system that fits the needs of consolidation, managing, and planning and strategy of the chain of clinics. And I believe there is no big difference between running veterinary medicine or running human medicine. As veterinaries say, the only difference is that the dog cannot say what hurts. So we are working in a bit more harder environment. Yes, to sum up, we also introduced the client owner web cabinet with diaries of an owner to record all the treatments, to record all the events at homes, to record reproductive cycles, because it's very important to speak to our customers, to take this active connection with them, because most of customers in veterinary are more or less disconnected from the clinics, and the idea is to provide long-time care and follow-up for the dogs and cats and other species on top of the owner imagination of how we should treat the patient, our little patients. So idea is to combine our medical records with the use of AI to do a predictive modeling and to do predictive care approach to specific dogs and pets based on the general recommendation best practices from internet and our real patient electronic health record data from our system. Okay, we have a lot of dashboards, which is not interesting. And yes, we have a lot of things related to BI. So we could manage a lot of things to run clinic, to make it successful, to manage profits, to manage clients, to speak to our owners. I would say many things in progress, many things to do, but anyway, we are pretty much advanced and looks like that we managed to design an integrated vertical solution for veterinary markets, designed for medical chains of medium and large scale. I would say that's it from my side. If you have any question, would love to answer. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Timur, and thank you for your presentation. And thank you to all the experts who have shared the concrete real-world experience of today and on how to drive the digitalization on the healthcare sector. What we've heard today is extremely valuable, not only for understanding the best practice, but also for improving the collaboration, I think. So I think that is the perfect moment to ask a question to all the experts that we have here in the room. So I really encourage you to take advantage of this opportunity. Apologize because we are a little bit late, but if you have any question, I think that the experts are very happy to answer your questions. Okay. If not, if you don't have any question right now, there is a question from Tatiana.
Hello for everybody. I am Tatiana Vorontsova, head of Rivne Interregional Medical Cluster and partner of project Clusters4health. I am very thankful for all the speakers, especially I saw Alexander Yemets. It is a director of state enterprise of Ukraine electronic health, and they show with Vladislav the powerful of our system that they developing. And my question is to Marco, that represented Emilia-Romagna, about the cooperation that maybe we can provide some new project to make exchange the information and our experience of our country, because we see there a lot of experience from your side, and we are very looking for this cooperation. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Tatiana. It's definitely we are looking for new cooperations and new opportunities to actually share experiences. So definitely it's we have a long tradition of actually exchanging opportunities and ideas with other colleagues all around Europe and also at the international level. So definitely let's keep in touch, and we can definitely get further in details on what's possible.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes, please, Natalia.
Дякую. Thank you, partner. I have, я українською краще, да, я є теж менеджером проєкту і партнером Cluster4health. Я би хотіла все ж таки сказати дуже дякую за такі цікаві презентації і цікаві проєкти від наших партнерів італійських. Саура, Енріке, Марко, я дуже дякую за вашу інформацію. Тут з
Thank you very much for your
теж
project.
засновники, ті, хто місце створював і розповсюджував на соцсетях.
We have a lot of founders, and we have a lot of interesting projects in Ukraine.
Це такі взагалі
It's innovation, and I hope that we will
попрацювати або зустрітися
collaborate
саме з
and
цими
work
розробниками,
with the
які
founders
змогли
pharmacy who make
свої електронні
their
системи.
own
Це взагалі
electronic
інновація.
system.
І ми можемо попросити їх
And we would
теж
like to ask them
поділитися
to
досвідом
share
і
their
далі
experience.
працювати. Я розумію, що у
I
Ярослава у нас теж є
understand that
питання, але
Yaroslav has a
оскільки ми по
question,
часу,
but
дуже дякую і українським
it's because of the
спікерам, і
timing.
італійським. Це було
Thank
для
you very
мене
much to
Віталю, да, є
speakers.
питання, дякую спікерам. Я думаю, ці питання ми зможемо обсудити вже поза рамками сніданку, тому що досить таки цікава інформація. Дякую.
Thank you very much for the colleagues text, I have particular questions, but we will discuss them out of the breakfast time because of the timing. It's really important because I keep in touch with everyone who works in medical technology sphere. I'm sure that we will connect up with the partners because we have quite a lot of questions.
Треба ще раз. Нам такий.
We need one more. We need more.
Пані Оксана включилась теж, я бачу. Дуже рада бачити наших державників з нами.
I see Pani Oksana and happy to see you here.
У мене немає. Енріке, давай ще раз.
I think that we have another question from Nazari.
Yes, do you hear me?
Yes.
So hello,
Меня зовут Назарий.
of regional CDC in Ukraine. In Ukraine it calls Центр контролю і профілактики хвороб обласний.
Я представник центру.
As we discuss secondary use of the medical records, yes, we took data from central database.
І так, ми беремо дані з основних даних.
Administrative units. It's called громада.
Ми беремо дані з громади, community.
We could see in what community what type of diseases are spread.
Ми бачимо, які типи хвороб розповсюджуються по громаді. І ми можемо використовувати ці дані стосовно, які методи або що ми повинні робити конкретно у цій громаді. Тут, наприклад, панує діабет, і що ми можемо робити? Тут, наприклад, рак. І ми працюємо конкретно з докторами цієї громади і проводимо певні тренувальні події для них.
With such, I don't want to say technology, but with such approach, yes. If someone worked with
якщо хтось працює з розповсюдженням захворювань і географічними розповсюдженням захворювань, і цими даними, будь ласка, сконтактуйтесь з нами. Ми готові співпрацювати.
Thank you, Nazari. I think that it's great to start new collaboration. Apologize, we don't have other time for other question due to the time, but I'm sure that you gained a great deal from all the insight that all the experts shared today. You will, of course, have access to the speaker's contact. You will be able to watch the presentation and all of the breakfast session and on YouTube, and I will share with you the link. And if there is nothing else, the next session will take place in January and will be hosted by Biocat from Spain. And so thank you once again to all of the speakers, and thank you to all of you for the participation. And that's all. Have a nice day and see you in the next breakfast series.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Ciao.
Bye.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
Bye-bye.